I'm joined today by Coach Darcy, and we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of a lifestyle that's transformed not just our lives, but the lives of countless women navigating the waves of perimenopause and menopause. Whether you're here to shed weight, understand your body better, or simply find a community that gets it, you're in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the next few minutes as we tackle the hot issues of today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? Woo, we're here. We made it.
Yep. And I have a question for you.
What? What do you have?
This is my question. Are you still banned on Facebook?
I was just going over there to look because I don't know. I think, let me hold on. Hold, please. I don't want to waste film.
Holding.
Have you seen that woman? Have you seen that woman on TikTok? She just cracks me up. And I am live on my own page.
What?
I've been released.
I was just wondering about that when we were like in our little introductory and I was dancing. I'm like, I wonder if, Monica's free, and you are.
I'm free. I turned the key and now I'm free. Until I open my mouth again.
Right.
And they banned me again. One of my followers on Facebook shared one of my posts and she got banned. I didn't get banned.
What?
I compared, I had two pictures. I had crack cocaine and I had, I probably shouldn't say that.
I have to use it. Drug. What are those sneaky words that we have to use?
And I had sugar because in MRIs, they're the same wavelength, you know, drugs and sugar are the same. And I had this and I talked about it and she was banned and I wasn't. So I secretly went in to my page and I deleted that comment because I'm like, I need to be here because my people need to see me.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of Facebook. I'm so tired. I wish
there was another way.
So we were just discussing something because our internet was lagging a tiny bit. And I'm like, last night, history was made.
Yeah.
Our astronauts went dark for 40 minutes and we were waiting for them to come back. They came back and their lips matched what I was hearing. And I'm like, why is it that our astronauts have great signal and between you and me and Anderson, you're like, wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
What is wrong with us?
Here's some hope. I'm seeing a lot of movement in our construction fellers on our roads.
Okay.
And I don't know what it is. They look really tacky in people's yards, but there are these posts that are white and have an orange cap on the top. I feel like that might be the fiber.
The orange cap.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's the fiber, if it's underground. I know nothing about fiber. Nothing. I thought they were these towers, but
that's good.
They're putting them under the ground. They're putting on every single street, like almost every other block. We're in the country, so it's like, I would think that would be a block.
I think if there's an orange cap, you and I will be good.
I hope so, because I even got myself on the waiting list as soon as I saw that paper said fiber is coming. So it didn't say it might be, because I read into that kind of stuff. It says it is. So I put myself on the waiting list and they said, oh, you don't have fiber in your area. I'm like, I know that.
Well, when the Bible says it is, it is.
Yeah, it is.
So,
it is a very powerful word.
I know the political demographics of your area, so I have doubts.
Well,
it is. You know.
It is in their way.
God bless them.
Yep. But there's hope. And I'm leaning into that. And it's a sunny day.
Can I tell you, I'm discouraged today.
Why are you discouraged?
So we have owned our house for 30 years. We've owned our house, and I got my property taxes last night, and I'm a little angry at our stupid politicians in Indiana. And they all are. All of them are. I'm sorry. I'm a Republican, but they're all stupid. And I got my tax. Have you seen your tax bill yet?
I have not.
Go on to your little beacon.com and you'll get your taxes and you'll see it's disgusting. Absolutely.
What is it for 4 acres?
Brace yourself when you open it up. Because in my area, what they do is they put together their budget that they want for all their pet projects and all of this, the frozen statues that they want to put in, welcoming, and yet they charge you for parking here. Disgusting. And so they decide their budget. And so what they do is they come around the houses with their little drones and they say, well, we need this much in our budget. So let's make this house, of which I paid $79,000 for. And they say, well, you could sell your house for $200,000. You can't buy a house. I'm sorry. The assessments connected to our property taxes it's a slush fund is what it is.
Right.
So I got mad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, heck with this house. Screw this house. I've been here 30 years. I have no mortgage payment. What if we get our retirement home? So a realtor sends me a list of things, kind of in our budget. And, there's options there as far as, do I want to rent my house out? And all those things that we could do. These houses are cracker boxes. I live in this house that's not beautiful, but it has bones.
Mm-hmm.
It has bones of dark
history.
wood and history. And we just redid our bathroom. I'm looking at these houses, and even the nice new ones that are, that are built, they're cracker boxes. Yeah. They don't know how to build houses now. I'm like,
well, they do on a cheap budget. And then they charge you because of the location. So, yeah.
I like the house. I like the bones. Now there's a lot of work that has to be done. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah. As for my house, go ahead. Go ahead. You tell what your daughter-in-law tells
my
you.
My daughter-in-law says, well, let's move to Florida.
Oh, yeah.
My grandbabies.
I don't know if those are any better.
Florida. No, my grandbabies are here, which roots me here. Roots it deep. When you saw my grandbabies Sunday.
I did. They're adorbs. All of them. Even your newest one is she's just like this little ball of like. She slept the whole time, which is a good thing because she didn't cry for me.
Yeah, you held her a long time, and then when you were done, I got to hold her too.
I got sore. Let me tell you, when you are holding babies and it's not your baby and you haven't developed these muscles that these babies make you have, that in places like the gym's not making you have.
No,
it's like I need to work out my muscles more because
my mother-in-law's a beast.
And she's just like this tiny little blob, but man,
a little 8-pound little angel. Yeah, my daughter-in-law is a beast. She's got it all. She's got it made.
Yeah,
but you lose those muscles as they grow. Just so you know, Miss Daughter-in-law, you lose those muscles.
Yeah, you do. And then I try to pick up my kids, and I'm like, nope. I need to do more weightlifting.
Nope. I think I got to your son. I made a bet with your son. For him to join marching band. I made a bet with him. I'm like, I'll give you $300. And he was in negotiations at that point.
He's looking for a computer. That's not nice.
I will win this. Because when your son steps into the marching band world, your whole life changes. It's like, oh, that music.
Listen, I love that he's really good. I think in my mother's eye, he's really good. And in my musical ear, he's really good. Like he has like this way of being able to like have a tune and he can go over to the piano and play it, even though he's not playing piano. He doesn't know anything about it, but he can just that was me when I was younger. Yeah. But like I don't want to do, because here's the thing. When the kid is involved, that means that you're involved with everything that they do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'll do my part for what he's in, but
Mama taxi right now. I don't miss those days. I don't miss those days. But when they get their driver's license, it all changes, and you're like, "Hi, I'm here for you."
Yeah.
But now, even stinky time.
But even in our mess of like being I'm not a grandma, but you being a grandma and I'm a taxi driver, we still are gun-ho focused on our health, right?
Yep, we
You
are.
see what I did
We are.
there? That was our
I see what
transition.
you did there. I see what you did there. We are totally focused, and not
But-
even on our own health, but
Yeah.
man, I want to share that
Yeah,
gospel with people.
Yeah, but listen, if you all could share this out, that would help.
would.
Help us
Yeah.
by sharing this video out.
We would have
And
more
we'll-
than three viewers right now.
Yeah. It's probably because we're talking like what we are.
People don't care about
But
our life.
here's
People don't
the
care.
meat. Here's the meat. All right. This is what we're going to talk about today. What are we talking
You've
about
had
today?
it all wrong, folks. You've had it all wrong. Really, they have.
Yeah. And here's why I love what we do. And we're not like other coaching companies because
We're
and there
mean.
might be some out there that, focus on what we focus on, which good. Like we need more of us out there that not just focus on weight loss.
Yep.
And this is why. Why do we fail, coach? Why do we fail at long-term health?
Yeah. It's so easy. Go grab yourself a book. You will thank us later. You'll be like,
Yeah.
Coach, I don't know why I didn't listen to you in the first place, but now I brought this man into my life and this man has changed my life. And I'm not joking when I say this book is close to the Bible in common sense. I'm not joking when I say that. And you know how I hold the Bible to the ultimate authority, but I'm telling you, this book has changed our lives. And I think it's going to change my life as to what house I'm going to pick out because, it's amazing. Atomic Habits, go get it. Stop messing around. It is so easy to read. But what you've done wrong is you haven't implemented this. You haven't gotten to the root. Because if you get to the root of your health issues, you get to the root of your weight issues, you get to the root, you understand this is what I've done wrong. This is what I've done wrong for all of these years. If I just fix the root, my health is going to follow. There's just it's not even a question. Your health will follow if you put these things in place on the foundational level. And our poor GLP-1 friends, they don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're so focused on that scale and they're so focused on, becoming skinny, becoming thin, because they think when they become thin and skinny, that's the answer to their problems. As you and I have lived, mine will be 9 years in June.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to this point in life and the weight starts to come back and you haven't focused on the foundation and the root, you're going to gain the weight back because you haven't fixed what is so easily fixed. And so, James Clear, I love you. I think you're a genius. I think that if people don't read your book and if people don't grasp that what we're talking about today, they're not going to win. And we want you to win long-term. I no longer care about scales. I am the master and you are the master. You're the key holder of your client's scale. We've got our tools. We know exactly what to do. But if you don't master the foundation, you're going to come back to us in 4 years and say, I've gained all the weight back because I did not listen to this silly little thing you're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Would say even if you are like following the journey of like a healthy journey and you haven't focused on that route that we're about to talk about, you're going to find yourself in a pit in some moment where you're like, what is happening? Like I'm eating the ways I should be eating. What is happening to my body? What is happening to my mental aspect of things? Like what? Yeah. Why am I feeling depressed when I should be feeling, happy and healthy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One simple step, guys.
Yep.
I love our beautiful member who was with us for 3 years. And I love his story. And I dedicate this live to him. He was a faithful listener and we lost him this year. But he was, 30 years
30 clean. Longer than that. He would have hit 36 years.
36
this
years.
Spring. Yeah.
not addicted to alcohol. And he would say in every single meeting, everything he said was the foundation of what we're talking about today.
Mm-hmm.
We love you, Gary, and we honor you because you got it. And in his message to us, the first thing in Alcoholics Anonymous, the first thing is, hi, I'm Gary and I'm an alcoholic. That's what he said to us every single meeting, every single thing that we would talk about in weight loss, everything he did to heal his life applied to this. And it is acknowledging, just acknowledging, I am not okay. I'm an alcoholic. I'm an overeater. I am this. It bases itself around the habits that we want to infuse into our clients. And this can be taken. I'm going to take it for my new house buying experience. I'm going to take every single principle that we learn in Atomic Habits to this, because everything in our lives depends on these 4 words that we are going to teach you today. The 4 words. And if you, all full credit to James Clear on page 47 of Atomic Habits, is based around how we coach our clients. And have you acknowledged that every single thing you do is based around every habit that you created, including turning on or turning off a light switch in your home, is based around this. There's 4 words, and that's your foundation. Now, are we going to tweak your program? Are we going to give you an assignment on our coaching sessions? Absolutely. We're going to give you the directions. We're going to give you the GPS to how to lose the weight. But if you just take those directions and you don't put these foundational principles in, and you don't actually physically acknowledge these in every decision you make, you're going to fail. So let's talk about it today.
All right. Can I read a quote that's before the 4 words?
Yes.
Okay. It says, when you have your habits dialed in and the basics of life are handled and done, your mind is free to focus on new challenges and master the next set of problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The foundation is it's not chains that bind you. Your foundational habits are what free you.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's like, well, those macros, they just bind us and they keep us in shackles. Actually, what is happening is you're actually becoming free.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom is what we care about as coaches, because if you don't have freedom and you just have a list of rules, you're going to fail. Every single time you're going to fail. But when you look at these habits as freedom, whole different perspective. Different perspective. So every single habit that we have and that we build as people who want to lose weight, who want to reverse type 2 diabetes, who want to reverse PCOS, who want to reverse those things that do actually chain you. PCOS chains you to this disease that doesn't have to exist. Type 2 diabetes chains you, and you're actually bound to those chains of type 2 diabetes when you don't have to be. When if you dig a little bit deeper and you say, how do I change the habits so that I can break those chains and I can be free? That's when you experience freedom. And that's when you are getting to Darcy and I's stage of life of our chains are broken. We're not perfect. Easter showed us we're not perfect. I had rice this weekend and I was like, literally, my neck couldn't turn by the end of the night. I couldn't. That's not freedom. Yeah, sure, you can have rice, Monica. Now everybody's different on their tolerance. I can't, because you guys had left at the point. By the time evening came, I couldn't even turn my neck because I was in so much pain over the choices that I had made. Didn't affect my weight, but it affected how I felt.
Mm-hmm.
So let's build it out. Of course, we're not going to give you the full recipe, because if we gave you the full recipe, you don't want the full recipe. We don't want you to have the full recipe, because we want you to learn and we want you to go through the actual journey. But these foundational principles, 4 words are going to change your habits that will change your life. But if you don't acknowledge them on the front side of things, if you're like, I just want to lose weight, you're not going to get it and you're going to gain the weight back. But if you're like, hey, I need you to tell me why. I need you to tell me, why I'm not losing weight, or why, that's step 2. We're talking about step 1 today. And it's acknowledging the fact that you have habits that have been built, that you have leaned on these habits for years because of convenience, because of taste, because of all of these things. When you dig down and talk about the root, every single thing you do in life is based around these words. Do you want to start us off?
Yeah. You want me to just say one?
Yeah. We're going to give you
All
those
right.
4 words today.
All right. The first word is Q. Not a Q, but Q.
Q.
Yes. So queuing is like it's that step of acknowledging that there's something in your daily routine, not just something, but some things.
Yeah. A
trigger that cues that ultimate negative, I'm going to say negative downward spiral.
Yeah.
That thing that you're doing great, and then all of a sudden you have this cue that's like, oh, wait a minute. I'm in my chair and I'm sitting in front of the TV and I'm kind of like cued because I'm sitting here and I'm feeling like our next word.
Yes.
Our next word goes into that craving. You know, you have like that thing that is paired with that action. It's like you turn the light switch off. Yeah, you're going to. Yeah, the stress, like all of those things.
Yeah.
And when you are acknowledging the things that cause the stress, cause the that
boredom.
desire, all of those things, the boredom, all of those things, when it's cueing those, then you know that there's going to be a next step that pairs with it.
Yeah. One of our clients said yesterday, just seeing food on the counter was a cue for her. That's a cue for me. I walk out to my kitchen and I see, even in healthy food, I see an orange, I see, an apple, but seeing that food on the counter, it's a cue.
Yeah.
It sets an emotion.
Right. So I would say, that's where you need to start to be aware of what's happening.
Yeah.
So that cue brings awareness to usually when it starts a process. And then that process is acknowledging that this space is not a safe space.
Yeah.
Because it's cueing those thoughts, those feelings, especially if you just put the kids down for bed and you are exhausted and you are not in the right mind. You are now being cued because your body is cueing you of tired, stress, emotional. They're finally asleep. It was a long day. It doesn't matter how your day was. Like there's going to be something that cues it.
Yeah. So when you start there with a cue and you're realizing, I'm watching TV, I'm bored, I see food on the counter. That's the first step. That automatic. Now this is subconscious. This is not a conscious thing. It turns into a conscious thing when you realize there's 4 words and you realize there's a pattern and you realize, so it does start to to rise into the consciousness. But when you and I, we're nearing 250 pounds, 300 pounds, it was not conscious. It just automatically happened. And that cue turned on when we realize that our brain clicks over to this consciousness. And then it realizes, I remember those silly coaches talking about these 4 words. You realize, wait, there's a cue. Yeah. I was bored. I saw that food on the counter. Yeah. And then typically what happens is unconsciously, all of the next words play into motion. But when you get a grasp on these words and you get a grasp on the pattern, then you've got power. You're powerless before that because the next thing comes in, which is what, Darcy?
It's the craving.
Yeah. You've been cued. Now you got a craving. What happens then?
That's when it's like your body's wanting it. Our bodies are really smart. I mean, our brain is really smart. So when we've implemented these things that help it's always wanting to feel good. And so when it's wanting to feel good, it remembers, and those are the neural pathways that you've created. You like we talked about the light switch. It's in our neural pathway that we have developed to turn on or off the light. We don't think about it,
No.
We just know it's dark. I need to see. I'm going to click on this light.
Yeah.
Our bodies do the same thing where I feel crummy. I need to feel better and I need a dopamine hit. So that's where that
Yes.
craving is like, oh, I remember when you eat this, you feel good.
Yeah.
You feel
Yeah.
great. So that cue of I'm feeling terrible, then that your body's like, I'm gonna help you out. You see
I
those
got the
apples or you
solution.
see those chips, you see like what you normally give me to make me feel better.
Mhm.
I'm going to say, hey, this sounds really good. I'm going to start implementing this little craving trigger in your brain. It's not
Like
that
a
because
little.
you just may have had dinner. You may
Yeah.
have just had lunch. And
Yeah.
now that didn't fix it fixed your stomach, it fixed your hunger. But now your brain's saying, I
Yeah.
need to feel good.
It's like a
So
little
it is.
politician in your brain.
It is. Yeah, it is.
They
So
have this
then
better done well.
when your environment is set up for you to have those things in your house,
Mhm.
when it is set up for you to, be able to sit down in front of the TV and have those bag of chips, that usually makes you feel good. That crunch, whatever it is,
Yes.
like it is put this dopamine in your brain. So you're anchoring that feeling to chips or to chocolate, to candy. Mine was candy. I would dig in my kids. Yeah, I would dig into their candy, or if I made some cookies for the boys and ourselves, like that would be like, oh, I've got those cookies I made and those are really good and they make me feel good. So I'm gonna go and just grab one. But for me, it was never just grabbing one. It was multiples because then I couldn't stop. Because then that scientific portion of that cookie took over my brain. And it said, this is delightful. Let me have more.
Yeah.
Even though our stomachs are full.
Yeah. This isn't an option for you. All 4 of these words we're giving you are not an option for you. They're going to happen no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Because your brain has trained it, like Darcy said. Your brain has said, when I have that cookie, I'm going to feel good. And you will for 21 minutes. You will feel great.
Yeah.
Right? It brings you comfort. It brings you relief. It brings you distraction from maybe the stress that you're under. It brings you pleasure. It brings you relaxation for 21 minutes.
Yeah.
And that food becomes a shortcut to that feeling because it's already there. But when you know these 4 words to begin with, you understand the pattern that your brain is giving you. You understand that craving is not actually for the food, but is actually for the feeling that you're getting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what if we turned that around? Like that's it. That's why these 4 words help you recognize that.
Yeah.
So
and there's
that
a
cue.
There's a process and reason of why we're talking about this, because we do have the tools to get you out of it.
Yeah. So then that cue goes into the craving. Once you have that craving, you sit down and you're hunting and you're foraging basically through your pantry and or your freezer. Like I know a lot of ice cream eaters that, they have to have that ice cream at night to feel, because once you've created that neural pathway and that trigger, it's like that we need that ice cream. We know this is the way to go. So then we take our ice cream. We don't necessarily like portion it out. We take the whole thing out because that's what our eyes are seeing. We want a lot of it because it's really good.
You have to even out the scoops that you've made. So you have to even it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That's how it works for you.
Yeah. I'm just going to even out the line of this cake.
Yeah. You're the brownie eater that like, if it's not in a straight line, then you have to disrupt that.
You wouldn't like somebody else to get an abnormal brownie. We need them to have a straight square brownie, right?
Right. Right. Yep. So then it kind of goes into, then that is the response. I'll say the next one because that's what it is. Yeah. The cue equals to the craving, and then that craving triggers it, and then you're responding to that.
Yep.
You're responding to that by grabbing that ice cream, by foraging through your pantry, by seeing what you went and got at the grocery store when you went hungry.
Costco purchases.
Yeah. So that response is you're responding to that trigger that you have implemented into your brain, even though your tummy's full because you had dinner.
Yep.
It is responding.
Yeah.
And it is going to then bring you that dopamine.
Yep. This is
Right.
the action part of what is happening subliminally behind your brain.
Mhm.
This is where you take control over that craving, and you do something, and you pull into the McDonald's parking lot. This is like the action part. And that's really scary because the first two were subliminal.
Mhm.
Unless you understand this process, the first two were subliminal. It just happens normally until you change your patterns. But this is where you do something and you respond to that craving.
Mhm.
You go grab the snack, you go pull into the drive-through, you know, and that's where it's almost uncontrollable at that
Yeah.
point because you've already responded.
Yeah.
So you have a response. So
Right.
cue, craving, response.
Yes.
This is my action here.
And
Yeah.
then
Whew.
And then once you have, before I go into that, it's
Mhm.
like we always wonder, man, why am I craving chocolate? Why am I doing this? Well, because you have done these steps over and over and over again, and your brain
Yes.
knows that this makes me feel good.
Mhm.
This makes me feel happy. And
I
I'm
got
going to
her. She's
yeah, I
gonna-
got you. Remember this? This makes you feel good. I got you, boo.
Yep.
And so that is then your reward. That's the
Mhm.
fourth word.
Mhm.
So that reward that you get then puts that dopamine in your brain, the serotonin, all the things, all those happy hormones that your body craves
Yep.
to make you feel better.
Mhm.
And yes, you are feeling better for
Mhm.
like what you said, 21
Yeah.
minutes, right?
Yeah.
And then ultimately it might have been a poor choice.
Yeah. Your brain will reward you for acting upon what it wants. It's going to give you that reward. It's going to give you the reward for 21 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Until
you're going to have stress relief. You're going to feel a distraction. You're going to feel pleasure. You're going to feel all those things because your brain knows that if it rewards you, you're going to continue that pattern and give it what it wants. Yeah. Your brain remembers the patterns that you have put in place.
whether they be good or bad. And now these 4 words can go either way. They can go for healing yourself.
Yes.
And switching into a new positive habit,
Mhm.
a new positive reward.
Mhm.
Or it can go down the opposite where you are leaning into your brain and you are responding with, oh, I don't know why my body's craving chocolate, but I'm going to give it chocolate. I can't stop thinking about it. I'm going to go and get some and I'm going to feel better. And then I'm going to go to bed. And then, we'll just start the whole day over again, continuing these responses. And I'm going to say this again. We make over 35,000 choices a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2,000 choices per hour in your day. And these 4 words are amongst those choices and your deciding factor.
Yeah.
So if you were able to implement these choices, these 35,000 choices, and switch it around, I mean, you're going to be looking at what you said, those words, freedom.
Yeah. You know what your body can't do? I don't believe the body can physically do this. I don't think the body can physically prevent the consequences of the choices that you made the night before. Because, and you could talk me out of this, but every time that I would fall prey to this cue, cravings, response, I could never get rid of the shame that I felt the next morning. I could never get rid of the weight that had come back because of this. So the body, it gives you choices on what you can choose, but what the body can't do is prevent thinking of Easter and thinking of the rice. Now, some people can handle rice and be fine. My physical body cannot take the responses of what that rice did to me, of the sugar that it spiked for me. So that's why I sat there on Easter Sunday at 8:00 at night and couldn't even physically move my neck to talk to my husband next to me because the pain and what the inflammation that it had brought up had done to my body. I physically had to sit there with pain because I had made those choices. And this is what we experience on the diet cycle of the Monday morning blues, of the day after Easter blues, of what did I do to my body? So I think this is our key out of this, is because our bodies can't prevent the ramifications of what happens when you do this response of eating the wrong things.
Right.
And of doing those things, because there's physical consequences. And I never felt great the next day that I came out of my closet after eating Kit Kat bars. That is something that is very confusing to this whole process, because the body knows, the body feels what you do. And so when you have these cues, which come from a stressful day, followed by the cravings that give you comfort, the response of nighttime eating, there's a little pause in there, Mr. James Clear. There's a little pause in there, because the body knows. The body knows exactly. And so it gives you the reward of temporary 21 minutes of relief, but then it drops you off a cliff because you've made that choice.
Yeah. As I think now that you were talking, because you did this often, I feel like I did this often, of hiding in the closet, eating something that I knew I shouldn't. That's like the moment where you acknowledge that these choices are not good choices.
Right.
That goes along with any habit that we have that is not beneficial to our day. It means like if we're not talking about food, we're talking about exercise. If we're not talking about exercise, we're talking about getting that project done for work that we just are procrastinating about. All of these implement these habits. And when you acknowledge it, then you keep, in this cycle that he talks about, you keep staying in that hamster wheel, because when you are not implementing that acknowledgement and then the reversal of creating a new habit that's beneficial, you're going to keep staying in that. And that last one, that reward, they forget the last one of like the feelings afterwards. What is that? Like the afterward feeling after you've rewarded yourself, then you feel that grief. You feel that guilt. You feel that depression, even like the depression comes back. And then you're there again, trying to repeat the same cycle and feed yourself, because your brain and your body in general just want you to feel good because it knows how to. And you're just stuck in that habit of feeling guilt after you've made those choices.
Yeah. And when you felt it long enough and you have seen the scale long enough, the goal is not to eliminate that craving, because the cravings will never go away. Now, I will say, because I've changed my lifestyle, I don't have those same cravings that I used to. So that's the hope in this. I don't know. I no longer crave that donut or that, because I have had this habit in place for so long. So those things do get better. But the goal is not to eliminate the craving. The goal is to change your response, because when you change your response, that will eventually tap down that craving. It will eventually give you more of if you think of a scale, the rewards are higher, and the rewards are going to, go away if you change the response to those cravings.
Yeah.
And so, but all of this is based on knowing the cycle in the first place, the cue, the cravings, the response, and the rewards. Yeah. Once you highlight that, in the spiritual world, we call it naming it. And once you expose it to the darkness, you can't unsee it anymore.
Right. Has no power.
It has no power over you. Yeah. And so you can create a new format, a positive format of this cue, cravings, response, and rewards that lead you to freedom versus leading you to the same place you've been for all of these years of weight gain, of disease, all of these things. So you can take this same pattern of cue, craving, response, and reward, and you can turn it to where your life is going to change. Mm-hmm. And if you're bored with the food, well, what am I doing? I am a poster girl of living in boredom eating. That's my own fault. I can have lasagna. I can have the same things that those other people have. It just takes a little bit more work on my side. So if I have those feelings of boredom, of I'm in this little chamber of health, now that's my own fault. That's because I didn't go to the store and I didn't get ricotta cheese. I didn't get turkey. I didn't get provolone cheese. I didn't get all of these things to set me up for success. So instead, I'm going to go to the old noodles that caused me a lot of weight gain and misery.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's my fault that I didn't go and I didn't convert this to a beautiful picture of this amazing food because I was too lazy to do it.
Yeah.
So my response in that is to actually go to the grocery store and do what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. So for me, I'm going through the book of Matthew right now, and we are in. We were just discussing the Matthew 4, where Jesus is in the wilderness, fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, and the devil decides to tempt Jesus because he's hungry.
Yep.
And he was probably thirsty too.
Yep.
I don't know why he didn't think of this, because for me, I've been able to make my life where, when fasted, after I'm done fasting, and it's only like our longest fast was 72-hour fast. So imagining 40 days and 40 nights is ridiculous. And what it does, I was looking it up, how long it takes for somebody, like what stages your body goes through for 40 days and 40 nights. And like when you get to the 20 days and the 40 days, that frame, your body is then knowing to go to your muscles and causing you some weakness and fatigue. And I know, as somebody who's fast, the importance of water and salt. Yeah. Those are the important factors of a fast. And I'm thinking, man, devil, you are just not really smart, because you're feeding this man bread. Like, you're trying to get him to make himself some bread. Yeah. And that is not, like, for me, if I'm tempted with bread after that long fast, I'm like, I don't want that. Like, that's not what I want. I want some water. I want some bone broth. I want something like meat, substance. Like, I want something that's going to make me feel good. Bread is not going to make me feel good. And just the fact that is what our bodies do when we feel like we're famished, and we decide that's we're gonna gorge ourselves in bread and all this stuff. I'm like, that.
Can you imagine our 72-hour fast? And I was making deals. I called you the night before we ended it. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah.
And you were my negative, my negative partner, because I couldn't say that to our clients because we're supposed to be strong. Can you imagine the red dog on Jesus's shoulders?
Well, that was the devil. That was the devil.
Well, I equate the red dog to the devil as well. But for people that don't have the faith, we'll talk about the red dog. Can you imagine on day 39 of his 40 days?
Yeah, like his body is screaming things at him. Yeah. You do get to a point when you're during a long fast like that your body is just, not distracted. It's feeling good. It is going to the resources and the reserves, all of the things, because that's how our God made our body. To constantly be able to heal itself and to feed itself without the substance to a certain point. Because there was a man who was able to live off of, like, for a full year of no food whatsoever, because he was 400 pounds or something. So he had a lot of reserves. Yeah. I'm sure Jesus didn't have a lot of reserves, because he was probably.
He had McDonald's on the way either.
No, he didn't.
What do you think his McDonald's was? What do you think?
I don't know. Honey? Apples? Figs? I don't know.
Yeah. He had them. He had a McDonald's there.
Yeah.
So yeah. What it looked like.
Yeah. And when that McDonald's didn't exist for him, he cursed the tree. Anyway, it just got to me. And then
they say the times do not change. Times do not change. Yeah.
No. But in my group, they were all like, oh yeah, I would have given into that bread. Like, ultimately, yes. Like, maybe if the realization is if I was hungry and I was, not eating for 40 days and 40 nights, and I knew that the end of that time was coming to a close. It's like the ending of our 72-hour fast. We knew that it was coming to a close, and we were thinking about what we were going to eat afterwards.
He didn't have an app either to tell him.
No, he didn't have an app. He had God, but he also had a lot of conversations with God too. So that was a good distracted. I would be distracted too if God was actually, like, we were just like back and forth. But
didn't have the plan. I mean, he didn't have the plan. I was thinking about, Saturday after the Good Friday service, Saturday is really tough for me because I am one of those. I probably would have been a Mary Magdalene, or I would have been one of his crazy ones. He had some of those disciples that were just so devoted and so in love with him. I would have been the crazy one to say,
You would have been would you have been Thomas?
100%. I would have been Thomas. I'm like, we just killed everything we've been working for all of these years. We just killed him. He was just killed. It's all over. It's all over. I would not have been one of those faithful ones who said, everything's good. Calm down. Everything's good, because everything would have fallen apart for me Friday. And I would have been Thomas that said, I need to see her. I need to see it. Let me see your, let me see the scars. I don't believe you're here. I would have been Thomas. I would have. And I would have been Thomas in my weight loss journey as well. I would have.
Yeah.
And so I'm sorry for Thomas that he got such a bad deal about it. He got a bad deal because I'm one of those people. I'm him. And if I would not have been given this, the Atomic Habits, I don't think he had Atomic Habits back then.
No, probably not. Probably
would
not.
have.
He had Jesus.
He would have.
Yeah.
Jesus was dead.
No, before he had Jesus, he could have built his habits and his foundation had he not truly believed.
But then Jesus died, and he's on his cross. He died. So all of those Atomic Habits were no good to him at that point because he was dead. I'm such a sad person that I would have been that person, because I would have also been Peter who denied him. I would have been that person. And yet he didn't care. He knew that there was Thomases and there were Peters. He knew.
Yeah.
And so then he comes in with this habit loop mapping tool that we give to our clients.
Years later.
And he asks everybody to think about the habit that they struggle with, because every one of us have that habit. We have a nighttime eating. We have the snacking, the stress snacking. We have the McDonald's drive-through that's so convenient. We have the sweets after dinner. So then we have to decide, when does this happen? When do you get that cue, guys? When does it happen? Because if you don't write it down, it's not going to exist. When does it happen? What is that craving? What is the feeling you're looking for when you get this cue? What is it that you're looking for? We don't answer that in these days because we just do it because we have those bad habits already built up. We don't do this cycle. When you do this cycle, you break you to freedom.
Yeah.
So what do I usually do when I get this craving? What do I do usually? Now, it's good to put what you usually do because you're going to change that, right? And what does the reward give me? What does that give me? So that's what we encourage you to do today. Do your habits mapping. Yeah. Again, I'll repeat it. When you get the cue, what usually happens when you get that cue of boredom eating? What is it? What do you do when you get that cue? And then write it on paper. What feelings am I looking for? I'm looking for that stress to be relieved. I'm looking for I'm looking, well, we don't say the word temporary because it is temporary. What feeling am I looking for? And then what do I usually do? Because you can change that. That's when you put the line in the sand and you say, wait a minute, those silly coaches talked about this. What do I usually do? And then what does that feeling give me? Are you ready to settle for 21 minutes of peace, or are you ready to settle for a lifetime of peace? Then we're going to take our clients into this next week on how to reverse those things, because we actually have the tools and we actually have the map to show you how to change that response and how to change it and break that old habit, like turning on a light. You don't even think about turning on a light. Or what happens when you go to the kitchen? What do you usually do? And what will this really give me? That's what we want you to think about today.
Yeah. And ultimately, my final say is we have the tools. We have been saying them. It's just like, I'm going to go back to Jesus again. Jesus told the disciples over and over and over, and they still had very little faith because they didn't do the work. They didn't do it. They didn't apply it.
Yeah.
So we can tell you, and we can tell you, and we can tell you, we can show you, but until you make the ultimate decision that you have to do the hard things and you have to examine what you are personally doing, because nobody else is there 24/7 with you unless you have a spouse. Like even they aren't there all the time when you're making the choices, because even though I had a spouse, we were still hiding in the closet.
Yeah.
Like there's the times that we found a place to hide because we didn't want to do the hard things, the things that made us uncomfortable.
Yes.
So until you are able to make yourself uncomfortable and do the things that you don't normally do that are inconvenient to your life right now, you are never going to change. You're always going to have these habits, and you're going to keep building new poor habits.
Yes.
On top of that.
Yes. And I'm going back to our friend Gary.
Yeah.
I love you, Gary. But it goes back to the first one. What cues the trigger that makes your eating habits go off plan? If you don't know what the cue is, you are stuck in a loop of dieting. What cues trigger your eating habits the most? Evening time, stress, boredom. Me, it's boredom. Social situations. There's a cue that triggers the craving. If you stop it on the cue and you map it out in your mind and you put it on paper, you say, name and call it. I'm getting a cue here. I'm bored. You can stop that cycle. And then you can put what we're going to discuss with our clients next week. Then you can put your action step in place. Because if you stop it, nip it at the bud, my mom always said, nip it at the bud. You know what cues trigger your eating habits. Okay, let's stop it. Let's name and call it. And then let's do what these coaches say and let's reverse it. Yeah. And we give you those steps. If you're stuck, guys, this is the kind of depth we go through with our clients. We don't go through calories. We watch those calories every single week. Before I meet with a client, I look at their average calories. I look at the math. But if I can give them the math, then that means nothing if they haven't stopped those habits that they've built. Yeah. And so I always tell my clients, trust me with the numbers. Trust me with your scale. Trust me with the numbers. I'm going to deal with that. I'm going to give you specific things we can do. But if you don't stop this cycle, cue, cravings, response, and reward, all of my messages to you, all of your messages that you sit with your clients every week with mean nothing. And this is where my heart breaks for our GLP-1 sisters and our GLP-1 brothers, because they don't go through this, because the medication morphs this process that's going to give you freedom. This cue, cravings, response, reward is the ticket to your freedom. They don't get to do this because the medication taps that down and makes it fake. This is why I call it fake weight loss. Even though there's no judgment on how they're doing it, it gives them fake weight loss. I don't like that because 9 years later, you and I know what happens 9 years later when you are dependent upon your habits in order to keep your weight loss. They don't have this. Can they have this while they're on the GLP-1? Yes, if they go through our program, they can, because we do teach them and we do make them go through this process with us. And that's what brings them ultimate freedom. And that's what gets them off the medication very, very strategically. So we want to ask you, what cues trigger your eating habits most? Think about it. Think about it. And if you're like, I don't know, then you need to get in a session with us. Then you need to say, okay, I need to break this down more because all I have is a past dieting experience. That's all I have. Help me get out of this for life. Right?
Right.
That is our message to you today.
I was debating whether or not to say one more thing, but I'm not.
You say it. I think you should.
Okay. Well, I would just say that sometimes your cue is possibly that unsupportive person in your life.
Yeah.
I'm just reading some of our comments.
Oh, yeah.
It is the unsupportive person in your life, and that is your trigger. That is your craving then. That is your response, and then that is your reward to make yourself feel better. And it is also, an excuse to continue on listening to the negativity.
Yeah. Yeah. Got to shut it out.
That would be you got to, you got to shut it up.
Yeah. And sometimes you can't, because if you live in an environment where you're not supported, you don't have a chance. You really don't. You've got to get in with your people. That's why when our clients do not come to group, they're setting themselves up for failure. because when they come to group, they've got their people surrounding them, and that is their fuel for the next week because they don't have that support at home, because people don't understand. I mean, when you think of about the word rice in my journey, we're going back into my life. When you think about the word rice, we've been conditioned that rice is low calorie, rice is healthy, rice is all of this. When I bring rice into my life, it sets me up for a downfall. And your rice may be a different food. It may be an apple. It may be, oatmeal, which is dubbed, according to the American Diabetes Association, it's dubbed as, healthy, when in fact it's a Snickers bar and your blood sugar. When you put yourself in your life where you got headline news, you've got the old doctor styles, when you don't question your doctors, when you put yourself into a life like that, you're doomed to failure, where you have to surround yourself. Our most successful clients are the ones who block out the schedule at noon or 8 o'clock. The clients that are there every single week are the ones that keep their weight off because they have the surrounding support system who can say, listen, Linda, I don't have a client named Linda at this time. Listen, Linda, your response is not adding up to your cravings because your response that you're doing is countering your ultimate goal. And the ones that, it's like the churches who don't preach truth. I do not ever want to sit under a pastor who does not have the courage to give me truth. Because if I understand that everything is healthy, feeling good, all of this, I'm not changing my life. I'm going to just go get I'm just going to go get a cheerleading session. I want somebody who's going to change my life, change my heart so that I can live up to my full potential, not just to feel good. We're not feel good coaches, y'all. If you want to hire us and you think you're going to get a cheerleader, you're going to get a cheerleader, but you're going to get a coach who cares about what your ultimate goal is. And sometimes that truth is not fun to take. Sometimes we have to speak truth. There are times we hug you, but there's also times when we hold you accountable to, hey, you're breaking the cycle. Your cue, cravings, response, and rewards is not going to lead you to your goal. And we're going to tell you the truth. Does that get rid of some clients of ours? Yeah. Those influencers on TikTok telling you what you want to hear, telling you that a magic shot and a magic potion is going to be your ultimate response. The day that I declined to sign on the dotted line of the GLP-1s was the day that I made a choice financially for this company that was not good. However, the ones that we've taken through 3 years of coaching and are living their best life and are living freedom. I think of one client right now who is running for state rep. She's not the same person she was when she came into the program. She's living her life in complete freedom.
And confidence.
Confidence. Oh my gosh. What? Confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does that mean that you're not going to gain any weight back or you're not going to have valleys? I gained 20 pounds back in the middle of my journey till I got a hold of the truth. When people were telling me, oh, truth is not this. You can have carbs. You can have all of these things. Yeah. That answer gave me 20 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cue, cravings, response, and reward. Get a hold of that. And then put us on the phone, get us on the phone. We're going to tell you the hard truth, but decide that you're done with that cycle. I'm done with that cycle. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, I have my clients to keep me in line and my sister to keep me in line.
Yeah.
Because my cue, cravings, response, and reward would lead me right back down to 272 pounds.
Right.
I was shocked when I saw an old doctor's report of how much I weighed. I'm absolutely stunned and shocked.
Yeah.
But that's our message to you today, guys.
For a good one.
Few followers that follow us, that's our response to you. Grab a hold of a partner, grab a hold of a coach, grab a hold of our group and say, I'm done failing this cycle.
Yeah.
Yay. We're here every Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. We actually went an hour today. Surprising.
We did. I'm not surprised.
Some of it was talking about band and stuff, but hey, grab our download our podcast every Tuesday morning. We had one released this morning. It was amazing. We're doing a series on breaking unhealthy habits and how to break the relationship that you have had with food over the years. That's what downloaded this morning. Beyond the Scale, Weight Loss and Wellness. Go over there on your podcast listening device and download our new podcast today. If you need help, please reach out to us. kmhealthcoaching.org is where you will find us. Get on our schedule to talk to us before you enroll in any program, because we want to make sure you're in the right program.
Yeah.
So see you next Tuesday, Coach.
Yes. Happy Tuesday.
All right.
Bye.
I am excited about our next session. I'm excited about what's ahead for us. And I'm excited about that our clients are finding freedom for the first time in their life, and they're actually able to live. I love watching our graduated clients just live their life to the best. And, those clients even come back and say, hey, I just need a reality check here. I need to know, am I okay? Yeah, you are okay.
Yep.
All right. We'll see you next Tuesday, everyone.
Bye.